Welcome to the Toy Trends Tea, and we're so excited that you're all here and at Toy Fair. You can't hear me? It's not on. Hello? That better? Okay, great. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Toy Trends Tea. I'm Adrienne Appel, and I'm with the Toy Industry Association, and I get to have one of the most fun jobs at the association because I'm one of the trend specialists. So I work year-round with all the different companies to kind of find out what's coming out, what's hot, and we kind of see so many toys that we've lumped into some of our major trends for 2012. So I will be going through some trends and some examples, but before I get started, just to give you all some background information on the show itself. This is the 109th American International Toy Fair. And within these 4 days at the Javits Center, we expect about 34,000 people to pass through the hallways. We have representation from 110 countries, and we have about 16,000 buyers. We got some numbers. Yesterday was a great first day. We were up 2, 3, 4% in almost every category between media, buyers, licensors, entertainment executives. So the entire youth industry is kind of congregating here in New York to find out about toys, hot properties. So we're really, really excited. On to the trends. I know how many of you have walked the show, but you're seeing a lot of app toys, I'm sure. And we're kind of coining that term Generation App. And I think what's really important to note about the app trend is that it's keeping toys still relevant. I don't know how many of you have an iPhone or an iPad, and when you play a game on your iPhone or your iPad, you're kind of playing by yourself. I think that these toys bring back that cooperative play, games where you can have a true family game night. I have an example here. This is an air hockey game from Pressman, and it actually has pieces, and everybody can come up and take a look when I'm done, but it actually has pieces, so you get to play air hockey, but on the iPad, so you're playing around, and you're playing against somebody else, so it's really, really fun, and it's using technology that people really have already in their homes. The product only costs about $10, and it's also a lot of these app toys are able to entice an older kid, 8, 9-year-olds, that maybe typically when they feel like they're maybe growing out of toys, this electronic and this app phenomenon is kind of keeping kids in the toy industry and in the toy aisle a bit longer. So we're really excited about that. Another part of the app trend that really talks to the fact that physical toys are not going away is this Cut the Rope Plush. I don't know how many of you played Cut the Rope. It's a really, really fun and popular app. But here are those characters that you see in the game, and they're just a plush toy. There's no electronics. We saw success with Angry Birds last year. Angry Birds Knock on Wood game from Mattel was the game of the year. Angry Birds was the property of the year. So toy makers are really taking what's relevant in kids' worlds today, whether it's online or offline, and kids are still able to play. So these are just some of the examples, but I can give you a bunch more if you want anybody has any questions after. Another trend we're seeing is glowing wild, and a lot of glow-in-the-dark and light-up toys. What's interesting about this is that we're seeing it in a bunch of different categories. I have this skateboard here, and this is the Radiate, and the bottom of it lights up. So it has LED lights. You'll see on the top there's some glowing happening. And, it's not just about arts and crafts anymore. This is a fully functional, high-performance skateboard. Then we have the fireworks line from iStar Entertainment, and this is just really fun. There's all different ones. This is the sparkler, and this is kind of playing with that glowing and light up trend. So you can play it inside, you can play it outside, and in the dark, and it looks cool now, but it looks even cooler in the dark. But we're also seeing blocks that glow, bubbles that glow. So it's really that whole line of glow in the dark. You're finding it in almost every aisle, and we think it's just a really, really fun take on an old classic. Another trend we are seeing is called little learners. And U.S. birth rates actually bottomed out a couple of years ago. And we have some figures from Demographic Intelligence that they expect the birth rates to rise. And we are seeing a variety of toys for younger kids being introduced that they may have not typically been in that category before. So we have this game here called Roll and Play from Think Fun, and it's a game that's actually developed for kids to start playing with their parents at about 18 months. So most games, aren't made for a child just that young, and you roll this fuzzy kind of die, and there are all different things. So for little kids, it may tell them just to make, what does a monkey do? But as the kids get older, it's growing with them. It's teaching them numbers. It's teaching them colors, and it's a great way for mom and dad to play with their baby. But it's the first time we're kind of seeing something like that. This is a line from Alex Jr. This is a Tots art set, and this is the same thing. This is really an art set catered to that younger audience. So kids can do, what their older brothers and sisters are doing, and this is for about 18 months plus as well. But the Little Learners line is not just about learning. It's about getting those skills. Razor has a new line coming out for younger kids. It's called Kixie with the scooters. Lego Duplo they've expanded the line immensely. So you're seeing young kids and old kids. For learning, we have the Young Scientist Club, has this amazing Miss Frizzle science sets. So it's really about teaching kids skills at an early age, but being able to kind of cultivate their interest and going with them as they get older. So I think that's really, really fun. Then another trend we are calling many ways to play. And this speaks a bit to value. If you're going to buy a toy, you want to make sure that your kid is going to continue to be engaged. So it could be one toy that has many different purposes and many different ways to play. Right here, this is the new Pony Royale line from Razor, and they're beautiful collectible dolls, but what happens is you can actually change the setting, so that is going into like the splurging and saving, but you can change it and you can swap the fashion. So kids are really, really going to want to collect those, and it's really a lot of fun. And then where is Waldo? This is for a bit of an older kid. It is Waldo's 25th anniversary this year. These are the puzzles that are based on the classic books. So you are building a puzzle, and then you're playing the Where's Waldo, hunting, find it game. So it's only about $10, but you have that double-edged play, and we really, really like that a lot. Then another trend we're seeing is we're calling save and splurge. And the last couple of years, toy makers have been amazing to respond to economic conditions and came out really, really quickly with a lot of great toys at affordable prices. And they're continuing to do so. The average price of a toy in the U.S. is about $8. You're still going to see those collectible toys, just like this Pony Royale here. But we're also starting to see that there's a little bit of an upswing. Some of the NPD data that came out last week showed that parents were more willing to do that splurge or, big ask item, and they were willing to spend a little bit more money on something for their kids. They're still frugal. They're still looking for bargains, especially when shopping for other kids in the family, or if they have a child who is hitting a birthday party every weekend, and there are still those affordable toys. But there are a little bit more of those splurge items. A good example was the Leappad Explorer, which was the toy of the year last year. It retailed for about $100, and you couldn't find them anywhere on store shelves. So the consumer has indicated for the right product, for the right price, they are willing to spend a little bit more. And I just brought this out. This is a really fun, you can see right here, this is a really fun kind of splurge item, and that is from Morgan Cycle, and this blinged out trike, and that's a big splurge. That's going to retail for about $900, but I think it looks a little fun, so I just showed it to you. And then we are moving over to, these are the Inkus and Blingus, and this is just kind of talking about how there are different ways to play, many ways to play. So you're decorating, you're redoing, you're spending not too much money on it, and you can wash it and you can do it again. So it's not only an art project, it's a cuddly friend that kids can, bring in bed with them, they can show their friends, and then they toss in the washing machine and start over again. So you're really getting that value. Another example that falls into the many ways to play is Kickboo, and I have some demonstrators here to kind of show us a little bit about this. What I love about this, if you can hold it up, kids actually design their own. So everyone's is different. You can personalize, you can put together. So it's a project, it's an activity, and then once it's finished, the activity fun starts, and you can show.
Again. So you can kick your kick bows super high, do the social activity, and it's easier than a hacky sack or a soccer ball.
And it's going to retail for about $6.99, so you're really finding a lot of ways to play with that at a great price point. Thank you so much. Another trend we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of musical toys, and not just for the little kids. I love this drum set. This is from Show and Hut, and it's just that really classic play, but for a young kid, and it's just beautifully made, and it's a mini version. But we're also seeing a lot of toys that have, cultural pop references, with American Idol, The Voice. Older kids kind of want to emulate rock stars. We have Jack Specific has the Winx Club. They're fairies and they become rock stars. It sounds like a pretty good gig to me. But this is the Kidz Bop line from Imperial Toys, and I'll play it up here. It just makes different sounds and lets kids really become that rock star. And kids can really role play, and they'll have different instruments. And that's actually the first toy line based upon the popular Kidz Bop musical CDs. So kids can now really become their own pop star. And then there is always, licensing is such an important part of the toy industry. Last year, the sales data licensing was really, truly one of the bright spots where the sales of licensed toys were up about 2%. And this year, there are just so many licenses out there, especially with blockbuster movies. We are going to be seeing Batman, and Lego and Mattel have a bunch of toys. Spider-Man, Hasbro, the Avengers, and anywhere from role-play, action figures, puzzles, games. And you're going to continue to see a lot of popular licenses. For girls, there's the new Pixar movie, and dolls, role-play, collecting. So that is really an important part. And then we always like to talk about anniversaries because we just think it's fun, and I know a lot of you do. So Where's Waldo is 25. Puff the Magic Dragon. Madame Alexander has some products, and that's 50 years old, the song. Build-A-Bear is celebrating its 15th anniversary, and Playmates has a really, really fun line of collectible mini dolls that celebrate Build-A-Bear. Slinky Song, I know you all know and love, is turning 50, and Poof Slinky is a company that's celebrating that. K'Nex has been around for about 20 years. And Mr. Potato Head is 60. I don't know if any of you saw on Facebook, he had a whole campaign celebrating his birthday. Star Wars is turning 35, and Care Bears are 30, and you may have seen some of those costume characters around the show. I think an important part of all of this to note is that one toy may represent many, many trends, and we're seeing a lot of new innovation out there, but we're also seeing classic toys, and that's what's so great about Toy Fair is you just get to go out, see all the new things, and have fun, but realize that the trend of classic toys and games is definitely here to stay. So I will be around if anybody has any questions. We will check our website, the online press room. We are putting out new press releases. There'll be a press release posted probably as I'm speaking. There are press releases posted on numbers, and our entire PR team is here to help if you think a particular trend sounds exciting and you'd like us to map out some examples and suggest some booths for you to visit. So thank you guys for coming here today.